Hey everybody, KC here. So I'm recording this during the intermission of 1776 on Broadway. And this is a production I was really looking forward to seeing, in part because I actually did this show in college and then saw a Broadway revival a number of years ago. But this is a really interesting production because 1776 is about the Founding Fathers, it's about the writing of the Declaration of Independence, and it's a musical. And it's a little dated, but I wanted to see it because every part in this play is being played by a woman, not by a man, many of them women of color. One woman is an Indigenous American. So it's an interesting take on the show. I mean, in part because these are people who would never get a chance to play these parts. But there's also an interesting sort of, a subtext to it, right? You have women of color, and they're arguing about independence, and yet we know it was a long time before women and people of color ever got the same rights as white men, right? This is at the end of the beginning of this country. It was all founded on the patriarchy. And so there's an interesting sort of twist in seeing a show like this. And I bring this up because I think it's an interesting lesson in terms of business, right? It's really important to see things through different people's eyes, to realize that the traditional power structure, the people who have always had the power, have always had the influence, have always had the leadership roles, are not necessarily the people, who are always going to have those roles. And it's important to transition to different kinds of people. You're getting more diverse viewpoints, you're getting different perspectives. It's incredibly important. That's one of the lessons of this particular show. Again, it's not a great show. It's sort of like they're applying the lessons of Hamilton to a show that's 20 or 30 years old. That doesn't really matter. We're seeing the world, the beginning of this country, through a very different perspective, and I find that fascinating and absolutely terrific business lesson. Anyway, that's what's on my mind, and as always, I want to hear what's on your mind.